Chelsa, I'm a little nervous because it's been busy here in DC. I'm at the house right now, and I've got painters up on my deck doing a little cleanup on the deck because it's been a couple years since the old deck railing was painted. But I always get nervous when I leave painters alone because I have this irrational fear that I'm going to walk up there after the show. They came in during the commercial break. It was crazy. I ran downstairs. I let them up, and I said, okay, guys, good luck. I got to go back downstairs. And as I'm talking right now, they're painting. I'm afraid I'm going to go upstairs and be like, look, everything's blue. What do you think? Do you ever have irrational, catastrophic fears when someone's doing any sort of home improvement and you're afraid that they're just going to totally screw it up? That happens to me all the time.
No, because wouldn't you just ask them to redo it? Like, it's a fixable problem, right? It's not like a doctor amputating the wrong arm or something. I've had those type of fears.
Oh, God. That sounds even worse. You hear that every now and then, where that's why now when you go in, remember you used to hear those stories all the time about people would go under the knife and they're supposed to have a leg amputated and it's the wrong leg. And that's why now whenever you're about to go under the knife for something that serious, they make you take a marker and like put an X, like, hey, take off this limb. Don't screw it up.
Well, luckily I've never had anything amputated, but when I was pregnant, I remember they sent some intern, or I don't know what they call them in hospitals, but she was pretty new. And they said, Jessica's trying to finish up her degree. Would you mind if she tried doing the epidural? I'm like, no, get the hell out. This is my spinal cord we're talking about. I could be paralyzed. No, she cannot practice on me.
I went to get a scar filled in on my forehead. I had like a bad fall a couple years ago. 2020 was not good to me. And so I've got a little mark there. But when the guy filled it in, and I think I might get one more treatment done. It's really small. You can't really see it unless you look for it, but I'm super paranoid. So of course I see it. And I'm asking the doctor questions. He's one of the best in the city, but I'm asking him questions and he's like, hey, you're fine. And walks out and closes the door. And I'm like, oh my God, man, you're scaring the hell out of me. I'm asking you a simple question and you act like you're done for good. And I'm going to end up suing you for malpractice. So I'm like you. The medical ones are definitely worse than home improvement, so maybe I'll use that and keep that in perspective. Coming up next on BetQL Daily, now that the Bucks have a 3-2 lead on the Celtics, the Joes and Aaron talk about whether all the value has been taken out of Milwaukee futures. And if you missed our incredible debate over whether Tua can finally live up to his potential with the Dolphins, download and subscribe to the Daily Tip wherever you get your podcasts. Do yourself a favor. Even if you're not on Twitter, just go on the internet and search for Tua throwing a rocket, which is what the Dolphins tweeted out yesterday, and watch that wounded duck fall into the hands of Tyreek Hill. It's worth your time. All right, let's try and bring the people some winners, Chelsa, and find out who we have the most faith in today.
Today's best bets.
Every time we've come in during a break, Double D, serious metal. So give us a hardcore metal pick, Chelsa. I'm talking something to get the people going, throw up the rock and roll sign, and win some cash.
God, any other day of the week I would have loved that intro, but today I think the confidence meter on my bets is pretty low, so it's going to be more of a soft rock.
I went in to see Slayer, and you said, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Bolton, but go ahead.
Michael Bolton, he rocks a little bit.
I've seen Michael Bolton in concert, honest to God.
Bolton. All right, so with that intro, let's move on to my best bet for the day, which is it's all right, but let's go with the over and the Phillies and Dodgers game. Listen, this is more about the offenses than the starting pitcher matchup. Looking at the Dodgers and Phillies, both top 8 in OPS and slugging in all of the categories. The Phillies are one of the best hitting lineups in all of baseball, and the Dodgers have Tyler Anderson going today 3-0 with a 2.78 ERA, who's been good this season. But like I said, the Phillies, one of the better hitting lineups, and Zach Wheeler has looked a bit human this year. He could have been considered the ace of the Philly staff in years past, but he's just 1-3 with a 4.10 ERA. I wouldn't mind taking the Phillies as underdogs here, but I like the overplay better just because we have seen what the Phillies bullpen can do, and especially against this Dodgers lineup who can take full advantage. So banking on the bullpen to kind of blow up a little here. And plus, I think we do get a couple of runs in the first 5 as well. So I'm going to go over the total of 8, which seems a touch low. So I'll take the over 8 runs. Phillies, Dodgers.
I like it. I'm going back to the ice, Chelsea, looking for 5 straight with the stick and puck. Let's keep it going. We got the Wild visiting the Blues tonight. It's game 6 of their playoff series. Minnesota is minus 105 on the money line. Blues are minus 115. This should be a great one. Total is set at 6, juice to the over, and I absolutely think this is the right play. In fact, overs in hockey over the past 6 days, get this, 17, 5, and 1. And I love that this number is at 6. The Blues during the regular season were the 3rd highest scoring team in the NHL, and now they've dropped 10 goals in their last 2 games. All of the trends favor this as well. Not just the one I mentioned, but there have been at least 6 goals in the last 4 games of this series. The over is set in 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams. And in the Blues' last 31 games, the over is 22, 8, and 1. Let's make it 5 straight. Over 6 goals, that is minus 120 at BetMGM. Chelsea, I see you now reaching for the 8 ball. You can't find it. Are you going to blame your daughter? You're looking behind your computer. You can watch all of this on Twitch. This is me giving live play-by-play. So if you're listening on the radio, that's what's happening. Chelsea's looking to the floor. And this is really this. All right, Chelsea, go ahead and get it. And this is, my analysis here is this is just bad preparation. If you're going into a time when you're talking it's playoff time in the NBA, you got to be ready for every single circumstance. We get up early for this show, and what does Chelsea do? She misplaces a magic 8 ball that we use each and every day on the show. So what I'm going to do as the head coach here is I'm going to sit her. I'm going to sit Chelsea, and then she comes back, and you'll be the 6th man in this next game because we can't have you showing up each and every game, Chelsea, without the things we need to complete this show. It's playoff time. What are you doing?
Jenks, you can't complain because your one prop on your side is the donkey, and you haven't been to the studio in weeks, and you didn't bring the donkey home with you, so I don't want to hear it. You're not keeping up with your prop, so mind your own business.
Chelsea, show some respect. The donkey is not a prop. He is a donkey. He is an animal, so don't act like
Well, then bring him home from the studio.
Maybe I will. Maybe you'll see him on camera tomorrow. You're going to shake that 8 ball or what?
All right, let's do mine first. 8 ball, which for those of you who do not know, listening at home, each day we fade or tail our bets compared to what the 8 ball says. So 8 ball that we got at a toy store, do we like the over 8 runs in Phillies and Dodgers? Don't count on it. Great.
You know what I love, Chelsea? That you almost forgot your own bet.
I was flustered. I was trying to find the 8 ball. I was dodging insults from my co-host. So give me a break. I got it right. Who cares? All right, so I have no idea what your bet is.
There we go. Here we go. All right. I'm glad things are back to normal. Things kind of got off kilter when you forgot the 8 ball, but now I see everything's fine again. I got Wild at the Blues over 6, and it's a winner. So go ahead and say 8 ball, yes.
Wild Blues over 6, minus 120. 8 ball, do we like it? Most likely.
Oh, look at that. Finally called it. Everything's coming up good for us, Chelsea. Hopefully we go 2-0 on our best bets. I'm looking at the rundown right now, and I'm just going to double check, but it looks like you don't have any leans.
No, like I said, I hate the slate today. So It was hard for me to even pick one. So no, I don't have another one.
All right, fair enough. If you want to watch Chelsea lose the magic 8 ball, you can. We're on Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/BetQL. That's twitch.tv/BetQL. Watch Chelsea look around aimlessly trying to find that 8 ball from the toy store. I have one lean today, and it's such a square play. I don't feel great about it, but whatever. It's a plus money. Of course, it's Dodgers on the run line hosting the Phillies. This is a rare instance where you can get the Dodgers on the run line at plus money. And what I'm doing essentially here is just fading that Phillies lineup because they're facing Tyler Anderson in this one. And Tyler probably will not go long in this game, but the Phillies are 1-8 in their last 9 road games against a lefty. And the Dodgers are the best run line team in baseball. They cover 69% of the time, Chelsea.
Am I supposed to say nice?
Yes, that's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Well, you didn't give me a pause.
I pointed. There was dead air on the radio. I absolutely gave you a pause. So much of a pause that you said, am I supposed to say something?
Well, I did, didn't I?
Oh, my God. This show, let me tell you something. If this show were 4 hours, it would not last. It would not last. They might reduce us to 1 after this episode. Okay, let's check in with the Donkster for your BetQL 5-star best bet. Just go to BetQL.com. You can get insight, analysis, historical trends, and more 5-star best bets by also downloading the BetQL app. Now, I have to say, you were talking about my donkey son. This guy went 4-1 last night. What do you have to say for yourself, Donkster?
That'll do, Donkey. That'll do.
The 8-ball might be your favorite part of the show. It's not my fault Chelsa lost it. Yell at her. Don't yell at me. Donkster, talk to Chelsa for a second. What do you have to say to her? Tell her. Chelsa, your response?
Yeah, I agree. Jenks is stupid and he
Oh,
should
my
be demoted.
God.
That's what I think. That's what the donkey just said. Didn't you hear him loud and clear?
Chelsa, I'm about to quit this show and start a podcast that 5 people listen to. I just want you to know right now. The Donkster went 4-1 last night. Tonight, one single play from the old chalk Donkster. You know what? I'll say it right now. You deserve a stroke of the mane. Nice job, donkey. You went all overs last night. You came home. Tonight, the Donkster says A's at the Tigers over 7.5. Now that you and the Donkster have bonded over calling me an idiot, are you going to tail him?
No, I mean, still not blindly tailing overs, even though the donkey's been pretty good. So maybe some credit is due. But when you just see an over on the rundown each and every day, like what's the logic? Over. Oh, let's guess what the bet's going to be today. Oh, another over. Weird. So no,
Yeah.
I'm not blindly betting overs, especially in the A's and Tigers game. That was it, wasn't it?
Yes.
Those two offenses are the ones you want to trust, not me.
This guy, fine, he went 4-1, but that brain of his, ding-dong-doop, over for me. It's always an over. I don't know what an under is, so it's all overs. That's not a good betting strategy. That's just luck. And I'm going to make a prediction that the A's and Tigers under will hit. Yeah, it might be a low number, but these two offenses, like you said, Chelsea, I wouldn't go over here. I think it's a bad play.
I think so too. And I think the donkey needs to come home. I think he is very tired of being in the studio by himself. So, Jenks, that's on you.
Okay, I tell you what. If he wins this bet, I'll bring him home. How about that? Deal?
Deal.
All right, that's a deal.